Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I'm driving a 2010 Mazda 3. Up front is a 2.5 liter inline 4 and down below is a 5-speed automatic transmission. And if you want to read more of my thoughts, head on over to carmarshal.com/overdrive where I'll be writing a complete review of the Mazda 3. But let's get back to that 4-cylinder under the hood. Well, honestly, it's a lot peppier than I thought it would be. Basically, the Mazda 3 is Mazda's smaller sedan, so I would expect it to be more economy car, more, kind of flat. But honestly, it's not half bad. The automatic transmission, I haven't felt any weird blurbs or weird feelings coming out of that. Although I have driven a stick shift version of this car, and honestly, I would prefer that, but that's just my own personal taste. I don't have any issues with this. I don't feel like this is a crappy transmission, and it does give you the ability to plus minus if you'd like, although it does reserve the right to deny your shifts. This car is also front wheel drive, which is a very nice feature. It helps out with gas mileage and that sort of thing. So let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me I have two very large gauges, one for my tachometer and one for my speedometer, one on either side. In the middle is the park, reverse, neutral, and drive selector. And then down below that you get a little information screen with your odometer and your fuel gauge. Up on the dash I have another little screen that's showing the time, the radio station, and the outside temperature. Then in the middle there's the CD player, all of the controls for the radio, and then you have your climate controls below that. Around the shifter there really isn't much besides this huge trap door that opens up to your cup holders. And of course, it has a sunroof. You gotta love a car with a sunroof. Alright, so now we are in the back seat of the Mazda 3, and I haven't moved the front seats. It's at a comfortable driving position for me, and honestly, I have a fair amount of room. This seat over here has a little bit less room, but that could obviously be moved up. And honestly, they're not bad. The seats are a little hard back here, so I could imagine on a really long road trip, 5 hours or more, this would probably get pretty old. Seems I have a center console with two cup holders. That's nice. This whole center console is like really thick foam, which is interesting. Across the back here, it has 3 top tethers. Not really sure what that's for. I guess for holding stuff down, maybe car seats or something like that. Only the passenger seat has a rear pocket. The driver's seat does not actually have a pocket back here, which I find interesting. I don't know why they chose the passenger seat over doing the driver's seat, but to each their own. Honestly, when I saw the back seat, I was a little nervous about how small it would be, but it's honestly not that bad. It's not that bad. But overall, this interior is just sort of lackluster for me. There's nothing that really sticks out. I don't feel like I'm driving anything really that special. This isn't the Speed 3, which unfortunately they don't make anymore, but they used to make a turbocharged version of the 3 hatchback. And I've reviewed one of those and I loved that thing. It was on 21 pounds of boost and that thing scooted. But really, this is essentially an economy car. This is made to get people where they're going and get them there reliably. I get a lot of flack and a lot of hate on a video that I made well over a year ago. It was my Kia Rio review. And people were saying that I was too harsh on the Kia Rio because I said that it was boring, lackluster, didn't really do much for me. And so in turn, I really didn't like the Kia Rio because it wasn't special. It was very uneventful. And people said that, I lost sight of what it's all about. I lost sight of the fact that the Kia Rio is designed to be an economy car to get people where they're going. But this is an economy car to get people where they're going. And this is miles better than the Kia Rio. This feels a lot more fun to drive than the Kia Rio. And the Kia Rio is 6 years newer than this car. And so to anyone who's seen my Kia Rio review, I understand how nice it is and how practical it is to have a car that just works, that gets you from point A to point B. I understand that. It's just that the Kia Rio was so bad that it made me doubt even that. Now, the styling is alright. This is kind of a weird point in Mazda's life. I think the brand new Mazdas look great, and I think the older Mazdas look good, but when this car was designed, when this car was built, really, Mazda was essentially owned by Ford. Ford didn't completely own Mazda, but they had a very large share in Mazda. And so they shared a lot of parts because Ford wanted to keep costs low. So I'm sure, I don't have part numbers, but I'm sure that this car shares parts with the Ford Focus, or something similar in size and platform. And so I feel like the styling really reflected that, because this doesn't look super Mazda-y. Yeah, it's during Mazda's point where all of their cars look like they had the smile of the Joker, but other than that, this isn't a very distinctly Mazda car, and I wish it were. I wish it, when people saw them, they immediately thought Mazda, zoom zoom, something of that sort. And so I actually wanted a Mazda 3 for quite some time. That's why I was interested in doing this review, because I always thought, you know, I'd have my RX-7 and then I'd buy a Mazda 3 to kind of complement that as my daily, keep it Mazda, get something reliable, get something fuel efficient. And honestly, I would love to daily a car like this. It certainly has pep. Has a lot more pep than my Pontiac G6. It's pretty comfortable in here. The seats are actually pretty nice up front. And it's nothing crazy. It's not turbocharged. So I know turbocharged cars can be reliable, but they'll never be as reliable as an NA 4-cylinder. It's just a matter of the turbo cars just have more parts that can break. That's just it. I'm not bashing anything about turbos. I love turbo cars, but there's just less parts to break on a car like this. And so would I daily one of these? Yes. Yes, I would. And I think that's what it comes down to, is this car is never meant to be any high-speed, you know, adrenaline chaser vehicle. This is just meant to get you where you're going and do it in a reasonable time with a reasonable gas mileage. And I think this hits the nail on the head in that category. I just wish it was a little bit more striking. I wish that it was a little bit more jaw-dropping. I wish this car just didn't blend into traffic so easily. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something about the 2010 Mazda 3. If you want to read more of my thoughts, head on over to carmarshal.com/overdrive. But again, hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys. There goes a sight from my soul.